Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this very special episode of Deep Woo. Tonight, the Divine Feminine Oracle Show on the solar eclipse in Scorpio. Of course, you can find my guests, Julie and Sophie, at MaisonJupiter.com, and also here on MaisonJupiter.com. I got that twice. Julie, Sophie, welcome to the show. How are you guys?
Bonsoir.
Hi,
Nice
Lucy.
to
Hi,
be here with
everyone.
you guys.
I kind of just messed up my introduction, folks. I'm sorry.
Part of your charm.
I closed the window as I was trying to click to the other place, and it's been one of those days. How's it going with you guys?
Oh, one of those days too for for me and Sophie, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
Been pretty hectic. Let's just sum it up like that. Yeah.
Pretty hectic. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on the live interactive show. Let us know how your day was. I'm interested to know here. We're going to get into the themes of all the latest bookings that Sophie is having with her clientele as well. We're going to look at the energies here, specifically for this October 21st eclipse, how it's going to affect you personally. So we'll do a little bit of a segment on that. And then also on the collective energies. And of course, as always, if we have time, we'll be happy to take your questions as we go along. So big thank you to all you guys being here, and apologies for messing up my introduction.
You did not sing once again. We want the Elvis sing.
Okay. Well, you should have negotiated that before the show, that if I missed my intro, I had to sing Elvis. So, okay, maybe next time, Sophie. Good try, but no cigar. Okay. Sophie, let's start there. I just alluded to it. What seems to be the theme in the last week here in terms of energies and what people are dealing with here during your consultations at MaisonJupiter.com?
I think normally the theme is pretty clear. Right now, it's the same kind of energy that is still lingering around. So what I have in everyday consultation, it's pretty much the same kind of vibration that we had the past 2 weeks. I think the intensity is starting to just be a slower, just a bit. So this is a good sign for me that the intensity is trying to go lower and lower. But I do still see break up. I still see people in bad shape, so not in the clientele, but I do see maybe people around them older who have, you know what, also getting sicker. This is the season for it. This is the eclipses for you guys. So it's still pretty much a bit of everything that I see happening. So we're still in the, we don't know where we're going next. We're still stuck. So this is pretty much what Julie is going to say in a few minutes, I'm sure. Eclipse is season. So we don't know where it's going to hit, but it's still pretty much really intense all around.
And how are people in general dealing? Sorry, I have a little bit of echo. Julie m'a juste fermé ton mic en attendant. Sophie, how are people dealing with this like uncertainty? I think you said they're stuck. They don't know where things are going to go. Why is that difficult for them? And what are they trying to do here to maybe mitigate some of those stresses that come with this big unknown and this period of unknown time we're in now? Sophie?
So what I find about the intensity is that many of us have already have their big moment, their big eclipses, I think. So for the few of them that I still see in consultation that have breakups, that have big change, that we don't know where to go next, we're still feeling stuck, all of us, I think. This is the energy around. We need to just focus on trusting the divine. This is not easy. So in my one-on-one consultation, if you have the cards for it, I suggest that you either do your vision board, or you work on your root chakra, or you really say to the universe, you talk to the universe and you say, I trust you, but I need security and I need this and this, but I let you decide how you're going to bring it to me, but I need that.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. You mentioned something about most of us collectively have already had maybe this tower card moment. Of course, the eclipse is on the 25th, but we've been feeling these energies for almost a month now, and we're going to be feeling them for months afterwards. What about the people who haven't had that tower card moment yet, and they're like waiting for that shoe to drop, and they're wondering, what the hell's going to hit me? Am I going to be okay? What are you fielding some of those questions also, and what are you saying to those people?
Yes, that's a very good question. I'm sure Julie's going to say things about that, so I don't want to take this question too far away from where she wants to go. But okay, I think that people who haven't had their tower moment, correct me if I'm wrong, Julie, but I think that it's not necessarily going to have to be big in your life. If you're doing the work, it's not having to be big. It's not a change of job, a moving, a breakup, or a death necessarily. If you're doing your job, that means that you're listening to the signs, that you're doing your job in a sense of, if I'm good where I'm at, I'm staying there. If I'm not good where I'm at in any kind of area of your life, I'm not staying where I'm at. If you do that, you're up to date and there's no big change for you. But if you need that push to make a change in your life, you're going to have this tower moment, and we're already feeling it. So for those who haven't had their big power moment, I think they're already sensing where it's going to be because the pressure is already there.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point.
I
I'll
agree.
get to you, Julie, to chime in on that in just a second. But Tammy Brodar, she's saying, personally, I feel very heavy. And of course, there's no one around me I can talk to. For a lot of us who are doing this work and educating ourselves and divorcing ourselves from the matrix and from the illusions, we find ourselves in the same situation as Tammy here. So, Julie, let's talk about that here. For the people maybe who have not yet had the tower moment, their fear of maybe something bigger to come, maybe renchérir un peu or add meat to the bone here to what Sophie was saying, but also add to the context of that what Tammy was saying here of how it's also very important here to find community, especially specifically in these times here, so that we don't feel alone, as Tammy and many of us are feeling. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, personally, I think the eclipses, as Sophie was saying, I think she was right on point, saying that it doesn't have to be necessarily a tower moment. Most cases it is, but let's not forget we have eclipse seasons twice a year. So it cannot always be as hectic and as, let's say, I don't want to say negative, but maybe such a big change in our lives. So it depends on your chart, basically, because if you have, let's say, a personal planet or a planet that's very near the eclipse point, then you'll be personally affected by the energies of the eclipse, but it doesn't have to be negative. It's just something that's going to shake off stagnation in your life, like Sophie was saying. If you're resisting some sort of change, your soul is like pushing for growth during eclipse season, especially if it hits one of your planets in your natal charts. So if you have a point that's going to be triggered by the eclipse, then you're going to be personally under the spotlight for all the big changes happening. But if you're not, it could just be people around you. So it doesn't have to be, let's say, a tower moment. It's just, let's say, a portal of energy that the universe is using to trigger some change. Because let's say we're human, so we like comfort, we like security, we like routine in a certain way. So it makes us feel secure. So the eclipse is like a portal of energy that your soul is using, your higher self, if you will, to be like, okay, you discovered all you had to discover about this specific experience. Now it's time for growth. It's time for change. So it could be very uncomfortable for sure. It triggers a lot of healing, change, but sometimes it's your turn, but sometimes it's the turn of someone around you. So it has, you don't have to be under the spotlight every eclipse season. So
I think that's good news for a lot of people, because they're like, oh my God, you get like, there's a lot of things happening. Yeah. It's not just this lunar eclipse. Of course, the financial stuff is in turmoil. The WAR spiritually and also in different theaters around the world is going wild. So a lot of people have cause for concern, of course, with where things are heading. And so they're hoping that at least their little bubble might be okay, seeing as you're saying here, they've done the work, they've done the homework, and they're on the right path. But you just mentioned something important there too. It's the people around us. And I'm seeing a lot of people around me having tower, like actual literal tower card moments. And part of me, okay, I'll be completely honest. part of me feels like I just want to shut the door and just, enjoy life with the family and have a nice picnic and not talk to anybody else. But part of me feels like, oh, shoot, I might have to pick these people up a little bit and help them on their way. But I'm very nervous to spend too much energy on other people right now, because I know close to the house, to the family, and all that, that's my big priority right now. And I want to keep enough reserves to be the father, to be the lover, to be, the person in your important people's lives, right? So what do you think about that, Julie, too, here in this particular moment, not just with the eclipse, but with everything happening? How do people guard their energies to make sure that they're there for their core, but also making decisions on perhaps to get out of the core to help some other people? How do you navigate that?
Wow, that's a great question, actually. I'm still trying to figure out this one for myself, too. So, I don't know. Sometimes I use the cards pretty often to guide me, whether it's my own karma that I have to deal helping someone, or is it their karma? Is it their responsibilities? Is there a learning experience for them? So sometimes you try to interfere into other people's karma, and sometimes you're just creating new karma for yourself, and you were not supposed to be included in that. So sometimes helping other people can backfire at you in a way. So I'm trying to be more careful, because I want to help everybody for sure around me. So especially friends and people I love. But sometimes in the past, I was trying to help too much and to prevent people from having those learning experiences that they were meant to have. So sometimes I like to connect with myself and ask my guidance, is there something for them to learn that I'm trying to prevent? Or can I really help them, let's say, grow on their own path, which is different than mine? So this is a question I think we all have to ask ourselves before trying to be there,
Right. And we all want to help everybody, but sometimes there's, en français, on dit tout le monde doit porter sa croix. Like everybody has to wear their own cross, I guess is the translation. Sophie, how are you seeing that, first of all, with the clientele base? And what would you say to people, too, on how to maybe manage those expectations, manage those energies in this crazy, crazy time of chaos that we find ourselves in right now?
That's a very good question, too. There is no bad way of doing it. Just listen to how you feel, what you want to give, what you don't want to give, and just make sure that if you really want them to be able to work their own life and be independent and strong, that you help them with the tools of it, but not doing it each time.
That's very good. And actually, Giselle, you have a really good point. She says a lighthouse doesn't go out chasing ships.
Wow.
Exactly.
I love that.
Wow, that's very poetic. I love it, Giselle. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. I love that. Crevrier. That sounds very French. Merci, Giselle. That's a really good comment. Somebody else was saying also, too, I think I shared it. Alex, question, JC. Is it bad that I want the chaos to start so I can get all of my frustrations out? Okay, Alex, a lot of people are feeling that way too. We're like, fuck. Oh, sorry. Like, pull the band-aid already. Let's get through this, right? We've heard this for a lot of us already. We're feeling that same energy. So let's start with you, Sophie. You're on the screen. Is it bad that we want to just get this done?
No, it's good. It's always good. It makes me think about my own anxiety. When that level of stress is too high, this is making me feel that I want to go into action. I think that's the same energy. It's like, because of vibration of stress, and I'm just anxious that much, that I need to go into the real thing to do the action. I'm less scared of the real thing that I was scared of, that my actual anxiety. So I think that's about what he says, that maybe it's just so much pressure that we just want to be in the real thing and stop just being afraid of it.
That's a good point. Julie, you want to add to that?
No, sorry, I was reading comments.
I caught you with your pants down, Julie.
Great points, guys.
All great points all around. Okay, well, this is a good point. Let me bring this one up here. Somebody was asking me, hey, GC, are you going to do readings on global events? We try not to so much on these shows. We really want to focus. Sometimes we look at it in the context of the global energies and how people are going to deal and what type of things are going to manifest. But we will be doing that tomorrow on the Rumble show, because when we get into these live events, as the question was asking here, we have to watch our language, of course, on this platform. So this is why I just started this new show here. Let me see if I can bring this up on this other screen for you guys. There you go. No, it's not working. At any rate, let me bring it up on the other one then. Rumble, JC. There you go. Does that work? Yes. Okay, so tomorrow, I don't have the poster up yet because actually, it's going to be Thursday, I believe, this Rumble show with Janine here. We just did the one with Jim Willie. If you haven't seen it yesterday, fabulous show, guys. Go check it out. We did talk about a lot of crazy things that are happening in the world right now, yes. And in terms of pulling cards on some specific world events, we'll be doing that with Janine on Thursday, I believe at 4. She's touring Texas right now. There was a couple of truther events that she was visiting. We were supposed to do a show last night. It didn't work out with her schedule. So we will be recording the live pay-per-view, I believe, still tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on the BeyondMystic.net. And of course, we'll have this free show here on Rumble on Thursday. So hopefully that all works out. And RK, yes, GC, your Rumble channel is great. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're testing it out. And of course, we're pushing the boundaries on the language there, and we're having a lot of fun. So please do go and join us there. I'll bring the link to the Rumble channel here in the live chat. Julie, now that I've bought you some time, do you want to go back and answer the previous question?
You know me so well, my Mercury retrograde brain. Well, I guess you were saying about this frustration that we're wanting change, and sometimes we're like, oh, it doesn't happen as fast as we would like it to go. Yeah. I have a deep feeling that this eclipse season is going to be the answer that we've been waiting for a lot of topics. So the financial system, I think it's going to trigger a lot of changes there. Also, if you've been waiting for some sort of change in your personal life, I think this is going to be for sure very intense, because Scorpio is the most intense of all the zodiac signs. So I think we can expect a lot of healing also, but a lot of, let's say, unpredictable events. Also, Uranus is part of the mix with this eclipse season, especially the second one in November. So I think we're going to be in for a ride. So
in for a ride. Yeah. Okay. For some people hearing that, they're like, ooh, I'm not sure if I like the ride we're going to head in here. So Julie, Sophie, actually, while you're on the screen, let's pull some cards and try to decipher a little bit how this ride is going to go. So as we're recording now, of course, we're October 18. We're already in those energies. We have this big one coming up on October 25th. And just after that on November 8th. So we're not done with this roller coaster ride here by no means. But let's try to, let's maybe look at a week time frame from today to the next show next week. What can we expect in terms of the audience here watching the show? What type of energies will we be asked to navigate?
It's pretty intense. Are you surprised?
Don't give me a tower card moment.
I think I have worse.
Okay. Oh, shoot.
Oh, okay. So the first card, I have my Elvis's card. So the first card is Guardian Angel, Support and Help. So this is very good. And we have it with the mental energy. So this is, for me, the intensity that I see starting to just going down a bit. So I hope that you have an explanation for this, Julie, and astrology, because I really see it and I want it to stay.
Okay, so I won't comment on, on the last statement.
Okay, I have Dark Night of the Soul.
Yeah,
this is the intensity, and we do have the 10 of Sword with this. So this is really the intensity that we all have been feeling. Don't worry, like we said, it's not for everyone. If you have been doing your work, you're not going to feel this in your personal life as much, but it's just the energy that is around. So whatever needs to be done, it's done. The last thing is we do have twin flame and we have the start of a new journey. So what I see with that is many people have been breaking up recently, and it's just to free yourself from people in your romantic life, in your social life, also on not romantic, but just other relationship around you that are no longer meant for you. So this is your new journey. Right now, we are in the middle, I would say, of getting the support and this ending. But the next step is just getting free and starting with this fresh new energy.
Okay.
Wow.
Julie, I'm going to ask you to add to that, and please don't quote any Usher songs tonight. But before I
I'll
do
try.
that, I was just having fun with you. Before I do that, Libby is making a comment here. She says, "Yes, Jim Woolley chats with Jean-Claude are always fantastic, but Rumble kept deleting my comments." You're not the first one to say that, and on Rumbles, there's no moderators. At least I don't have any moderators. It's not like YouTube; we don't have a community. So I'm wondering what's happening there. Of course, this platform is supposed to be uncensored, but I'm not sure. I've heard many of those, and I just want to let the audience know it's not me. I'm just doing the show, and there's something happening in the background, and it's also a little bit glitchy. When the audience is big, a lot of people are saying that depending where they are, the servers aren't running fine, and it keeps stalling. And we're recording fine here, so something's happening at the server level. And as you know, 2 weeks ago too, they were down completely on one night. That caused a lot of havoc for a lot of people. So it's growing pains here as we're trying to discover these new uncensored platforms. So Libby, I appreciate your comment. I just wanted to let you know my whole goal for doing those shows is to be 100% uncensored myself so that I can speak freely, but also for our guests and our community members. And so that's what we're all striving for. So Julie, going back to the Dark Night of the Souls, one of those cards here, how do you tie that in here? Let's start digging into the astrology here. You want to go for the personal side first? You want to bring that slide up?
Go personal, because everything that Sophie said is relating to the slide I made for this eclipse.
Okay, that's
so
good.
Before we dive in, because this eclipse is happening in the sign of Scorpio, so before I dive into Scorpio energies, I just want to make a disclaimer, because sometimes some people are triggered because they're like, oh, I'm a Scorpio, but I don't relate to any of it. So I'm not talking about people who has their sun in Scorpio specifically. In astrology, we all have a part of all the zodiac signs in our birth chart. So we all hold a bit of the 12 energy. So we're like part of the whole. So I have Scorpio somewhere in my chart. Sophie has Scorpio somewhere in her chart. JC also. So we all have this energy, lower frequencies of Scorpio somewhere, but also the higher frequencies. So I'm going to speak to all of those. So, and of course, if you have let's say a sun in Scorpio, a rising sign in Scorpio, or the opposite sign, which is Taurus, for sure you're going to feel this eclipse more than other people, but it doesn't mean because you're a bad person or whatever. It's just that the South Node at the moment is in the sign of Scorpio, so we're purging out, let's say, the more lower vibration themes relating to Scorpio. So that's why we're going to talk a little bit more about the dark sides of Scorpio. So what we are all purging from the collective, but also in our personal lives, our ancestry, our shadow work. So this is all part of what I'm going to talk about. So Scorpio rules, first of all, mutual finances. So it's part of the financial axis, which is Taurus and Scorpio. And Scorpio rules everything that we pull together as shared resources. So mutual finances. So that's why it talks also about the stock market, insurances, pensions. So these are all mutual finances ruled by Scorpio. Also, other topics ruled by Scorpio, we have sexuality, intimacy. So it's also a relationship sign. So any of those themes I'm going to talk about can be very central in your life around those eclipses. So it rules the energy exchange axis, which is Taurus and Scorpio. So how we receive is Scorpio and how we give is Taurus. So, but in order for us to be able to receive intimacy, sexuality, finances, energy in general, we need to do some shadow work and work on ourselves, which is also Scorpio. So Scorpio is all about trust. So we need to heal the times we've been betrayed in this life and past lives in order for us to trust other people to receive. So it's all part of the healing of Scorpio. So let me continue reading my slide. I went on a tangent here. So sexuality, intimacy, I said trust in relationships, it rules trauma in general. So all the deep emotional work, shadow work that we all have to do is Scorpio. Also, it talks about anything that's hidden, so unveiling truth. It can be also unveiling lies. So whenever we have eclipses or full moons in Scorpio, usually there's a lot of disclosure, secrets exposed in our personal lives, but also collectively speaking. It also rules the Kundalini. So also this work, shadow work that we're doing for ourselves, it helps us activate all of our chakras. Also take accountability for our own energy, which is very Scorpionic. We're going to talk about that later on. I wrote taking back your personal power, which is like the most important Scorpio theme. So we all are being called right now to take back our personal power in a way, which is with this eclipse. So I think that's very powerful. So I wrote emotional and sexual healing, doing your shadow work to be able to merge with another. Because Scorpio, as a relationship sign, likes to really merge because it also rules intimacy and sexuality. But it's kind of contradictory, because you're not able to do that unless you heal yourself and you do your shadow work. So this is part of the healing that we're all doing at the moment. And aside from that, I wrote other Scorpio themes. So other themes that could be coming up into the ether for you right now. So, well, it rules death and rebirth, Scorpio. So let's not avoid this one. It could also be figuratively speaking a death, so the end of an experience, but also literally. It could be a birth, Scorpio, death and rebirth. It could be a pregnancy. It could be surgery, real surgery. Healing in general is Scorpio. And interestingly enough, it rules toxicity. So toxic relationships, it could be, let's say, an intimate relationship, but it could also be a relationship with your government that is toxic. You know what I mean? So all kind of toxicity are being exposed when the South Node is in Scorpio with this eclipse. So we're purging out all that's toxic in our lives as of relationship of power that's not balanced. So we're letting go of those relationships. And it also rules releasing toxins. So all the people that took some products, it could be a really good time to do a detox and to release those toxins. And even if you didn't take the product, it could also be a good time to release anything that you'll have to release. And it rules regeneration in general. So I said earlier, taking back your personal power in big caps here, because I feel like in my personal life, I think that's what's going on. I'm setting better boundaries. And we spoke a little bit earlier about helping other people and stuff. But in the past, personally, I've been trying to help people sometimes. And I did too much, and I wasn't good at really setting my boundaries. So I feel like this is personally what I'm working on at the moment with this eclipse, financially speaking, but also with my energy, where I want to invest it. So I feel like this is probably the most common theme that I see around me and with my own personal life. Oh, you're muted, JC.
Before I ask Sophie to jump in here with the cards, also to get a little bit more precision, like when Lisa's making a good point here too, for a lot of us, that's the very challenging things right now, is kind of letting go, trusting in universe, healing so that we can receive, right? So
Yeah.
in part of this work, we ask the person, are you ready and willing to receive? And for most people, they say, oh yeah, of course. But then they realize, oh no, I have all this guilt attached to receiving, or I have all these traumas attached to releasing some energy. So all of this stuff. So like Lisa, thank you first of all for that comment.
Yeah,
Julie, what do you make of that? For those people who have that extra difficulty healing right now, letting things go and understanding that they're worthy enough to receive. That's
I was gonna say worthiness, that knowing that you're worthy of all the abundance in the world. Like I saw a quote a while ago that was, you cannot liberate a slave that's not willing to let go of his chains. So I feel like it is directly talking to this eclipse. So we're all talking about this new financial system that we want to be more equal for everybody. We want everybody to be more abundant. But if you don't think that you're worthy of this abundance, then you're not ready to liberate yourself from your chains. So I feel like this is a big topic that we all have to heal right now.
Okay, very good. Sophie, on that question first from Litecoin Lisa also, and then let's maybe pull some cards on that first reading to get a little bit more clarity as to what universe wants to share with the audience members as well.
Absolutely. On my personal life, honestly, it's probably my French, but this eclipse season just kicked my butt. So I am right with you on this. And when I say in my one-on-one or in this life that we have to release control and trust the universe, I have to do it personally too. So I do not give you advice that I don't follow myself. I know how hard it is. I know that it is really like we are without a safety net and we have to rebuild. But the eclipse doesn't remove something from your life that is good for you still. The eclipse removes something from your life that is no longer for you. So this was a block. So maybe right now the resistance in many people's life is that we don't see why it would not be good for us, but we have to trust that this was meant for us.
Wow, that's really well said. And Gypsy Mama says, yeah, this is a big one for me, being open and worthy to receive. Thank you, JC, for bringing this up. Thank you, Gypsy Mama. And thank you, Litecoin Lisa, for the great question and commentary. Of course, you guys can go find her amazing work here at Litecoin Lisa on YouTube. Lisa, thank you for being here tonight. So, Sophie, let's pull some cards also and get some extra information perhaps Universe wants to share with audience members here in terms of how these energies are going to affect us personally. We're still doing it on the personal energy side, and then we'll do the collective a little bit after that. Go ahead.
So I just pulled the card, so I have it already. I have trouble along the way with the 8 of Wands, so this is the fastest card in the deck. This is coming fast, so again, we all know it at this point. So just meditate, try to do your work. We're going through this shall pass too, so you know what I mean. This is going to be one moment that everybody is going to feel different ways. It's meant for us. We have to trust it. I have going my own way with the 9 of Swords. This is the anxiety card. Of course, that means that for many of us, me included, we have to really rely more on us personally for anything and not on power structure, not on someone else, not on some job, not on some place. We have to really find a power within us. This is really stressful. 9 of Swords is the energy we had 2 weeks ago, I think. It's not easy, okay, but it's going to be better in the future. And just as a proof, we have more stable. So I know it's in red and you don't see it, but it says stable and long term. So this is very good. And we have the Page of Cups. This is very small energy, the page. So this is not a king. This is not a 10 of Cups, but this is a brand new beginning of stability, the way that you really want this and the way that it brings you more happiness.
Okay, very good. You guys both spoke of doing the work. One of you, I think, said shadow work. Sparks of Life of Light is asking, hey, please explain shadow work. Thank you for your wisdom. Love you guys. While I have you on the screen, Sophie, what do you mean by that? And I know this is a big theme for when you have readings, personal readings with your clients. What does that mean for you when you say you have to do the shadow work? What are you looking at exactly when you're doing shadow work?
So for me, maybe it's different from other people. For me, would be included past life too. So for me, it would be included all of your fears, everything that you could have in the back of your mind and just do your day to day. And you just don't look at this, you push this on the side. But we have once in a while to just say, okay, I have to face it and I have to overcome what I really fear. I have to overcome also my limiting belief. I have to really face and not just trying to avoid.
Wow, that's really good. Julie, do you want to add to that? Shadow work?
Yeah. The way I know that I have to do some healing personally is that if I'm confronted with a situation and I feel triggered emotionally, like I feel a lot of emotions, anger, fear, frustration, whatever it is, then I know there's something underneath what's going on in the situation that's actually being brought into the life for me to heal, to ask myself, where is that emotion coming from? What do I need to heal according to that? So take accountability for my own emotions and don't try to project them onto other people, which I think is a big one. So I don't pretend that I'm that I'm a master at it, but I try to take to be more conscious of my emotional reactions.
Sarah and I went to this meditation. It was a soul journey. I forget what the title was. Soul journey meditation with this North American native elder, and he was describing shadow work, or the precursor to knowing you're doing shadow work is as follows. He said, when you're busy mind, of course, you don't see the shadow and you're not dealing with it. But as soon as you stop everything and you go calm and you meditate, suddenly you have that little inkling of fear, of discomfort, because you've taken away all the external noise and you're left with you and your core wound, or some of the core wounds that are affecting your life presently and that are preventing you from doing the healing aspects because you're not looking at it or because you're not dealing with it. And this is where the elder was saying, this is where most people miss the boat, because as soon as that gets uncomfortable, when they've turn down all the noise and they sit down with the core wound, they get so nervous that they make busy again. So they'll go run a race, they'll turn on the TV, they'll call up the friends to go out, have a drink, blah, 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 because they cannot stand looking at that core wound. It's begging to be looked at and to be dealt with. So he says that's really understanding that there's still things to be dealt with. And shadow work, as the person was asking, is when you find yourself so quiet and peaceful and there's an anxiety there. You're supposed to be calm there, and if you're not, it's because you have that shadow work to look at. Does that make sense?
Great point. Yeah, great point. And if I may add, I think this is the first step of doing shadow work, is that reclaiming your own energy and trying to be at peace with yourself. But once you go through that first phase, because personally, when I was going through my spiritual awakening, at first I didn't know how to handle other people's energy, so I kind of isolated myself from the world for a little bit to reclaim my personal power, because I'm very empathic, so I tend to take other people's energies also. So I was trying to know who I was outside of the whole noise that you were talking about. So, but at one point where I was very comfortable with my own energy, I think the second part of it is re-including yourself into the world and re-having those social interactions. And then that's the second part, I think, of the shadow work, because people are going to reflect things that you thought you healed before, but sometimes they're not very much healed, Right. So you need those mirrors. That are other people, I think, for the second part of this shadow work.
Very good point. Sophie, you're nodding your head. Do you want to add anything to that as well?
Yeah, I heard of meditation. I have a friend who went to India, and he was put in a just empty room without any light at all. So not one distraction. And that was for 24 hours, if I remember correctly. So a long time, basically. So you lose track of time when you're in. You lose also track of many distractions that you can have in your mind, because that goes away after a while, and you're left with only what you have to face, and you have to face your demon in that space. You have to. So that's what you said, JC, just reminded me of that. And I think it makes a lot of sense that as soon as you're quiet, you know where you have to work. You know where you have some things that you have to really face.
And the thing that's interesting also about the dark room technology, as you're explaining it now, also, it activates your third eye because you're deprived of all the other senses. And when your third eye is active, you see differently, not just the world around you, but yourself in it. So it is a very powerful technique, that's for sure. Okay, we're at the 38-minute mark. I saw the wonderful Carla somewhere in there in the live chat. There she is, Ascension Organites. Carla has donated a wonderful pyramid tonight, also from the astrology series for our show tonight, and to give away to one of the amazing tip jar donations for tonight. So let's see what this pyramid from Carla entails this evening. Let's see if we can bring this up on the screen for you guys.
Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. This is Carla from Ascension Organites, and today I have another piece of the astrology series. This is Sagittarius. So as always, I use colors and crystals that help enhance and balance the properties and energies of Sagittarius. So purple and royal blue are great colors for Sagittarius. So we have clear quartz, turquoise, ruby, aluminum metals, and the tetrahedron symbol in silver. So Sagittarius is very honest. They love freedom, adventure. So that's where the ruby comes in. It gives a boost of courage, zest for life, motivation, help keeping up with goals. Turquoise is for protection. It helps with healing. It's a great purification stone. And clear quartz is basically very versatile, whatever you need it for. I'll give it a quick turn around so you can see it. And there's Sagittarius. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carla. I love that pyramid. Guys, if you're looking at getting one of these amazing creations in your own possession, you can do so here at ascensionorganites.com. And if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, I had it there somewhere. It's a weird night. You'll save an extra 10% off, yes, on these amazing pyramids. And given the fact that we are dealing with some tough energies and there's a lot of breakups going on with these eclipses, what do we have for the audience members in terms of crazy crystal moonlight infused candles? Julie, what do we have tonight?
We have the beautiful romance candle. So this one is peach and chocolate fragrance, and it's infused with carnelian, which is activated at full moon by Elena, the one and only. So this candle, I think, is really good to put some more love, self-love also included in that romance. So sometimes we think romance is only with a partner, but I think it's very important to give some love to ourselves. And also Venus is conjunct the eclipse. So we all need to put some more love. I think it's going to be the key, right, Sophie?
Yeah, love is the key. That's on my t-shirt, guys. So if you don't get
hold on. Let me see. There you go.
Love is the key.
And show us the key.
Oh, the key. I have the key. So
there we go.
I absolutely love it.
That candle is my favorite. It smells amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice. Guys, of course, if you want to get a candle here, you can do so at MaisonJupiter.com if you look at the candle section there as well. And of course, you can find the personalized birth chart. Somebody was asking earlier, oh my God, just listening to Julie, I want to learn astrology. Well, you can start here with your personalized birth chart. Explain how this works. This is a digital product, Julie, and how do you personalize these for the audience members?
Yeah, so it's a digital poster, so everything is going to be sent by email, so it's printable and also perfect for to frame on your wall. So you make sure it's a reference point having your birth chart. So this is the exact placement of all the planets at the moment of your birth. And also it's a very important self-knowledge tool that you can use throughout your whole life. So you're going to have the same birth chart for the rest of your life for sure. And you can also take all the astrology aspects that we're talking about through these shows and locate them on your own birth chart and have some more knowledge in how those events are going to affect you in your personal life regarding what house it's going to fall in. So for example, this eclipse is at 2 degrees of Scorpio, so you can locate 2 degrees of Scorpio in your birth chart. Thank you, Lakeside Laura. She's amazing. And so yeah, it's gonna fall in one of the 12 houses, and you're going to get more information on what house and what aspect of your life is going to be activated.
Okay, very cool. And so, yes, there's a lot of, first of all, a lot of people are saying, wow, that was an amazing pyramid. I completely agree with you guys. And also, yes, really cool candle. If you haven't already tried them, please at least try one and you'll see, you'll come back for more. They're really, really amazing. But speaking of Elena, Julie, very quickly here, let's take a sidebar. Elena's recording a course for the Academy. Are we ready to maybe hint that to the audience members as well? And also,
I think so.
Okay, let's start there. What is Elena going to share with the audience?
Okay, so I don't think I pronounced that right, but she's going to teach Feng Shui. So is it Feng Shui? I don't know how am I supposed to pronounce that exactly. So I pronounce it the French way, so it's Feng Shui in my head. Feng Shui. So,
Feng-
so yeah, it's a very ancestral science, art, science, whatever you want to call it, on what to place in all the 9 bagwas in your house to have the best energies for all the aspects. So this is a very important science. I personally applied it to my house, and it made all the difference in the world, especially for the prosperity corner, which is very important if you want to be abundant in your financial sector. So I had a huge hole in my wall in my prosperity sector of my home when I learned first Feng Shui. And when I repaired it, it started to go a lot better. So Elena is going to teach all about it, and I think it's going to be a great course.
That's so cool. So, guys, that's coming up, of course, on the BeyondMystic Academy. Of course, right now, the Tarot Level 2 is up and running, and Janine is hard at work, even with her hard travels to this Truther conference in Texas, where we're going to talk to her maybe live tomorrow and also on Thursday. She is recording also now Level 3 for you guys, where there's going to be a lot of workshops involved in that as well. And speaking of workshops, Elena will also be back to do some singing bowl meditations. I know we did one live once for full moon, and a lot of people are asking, hey, can you bring those back? That would be really cool. And Elena has such a way of managing those meditations, live meditations. I thought it was absolutely amazing. So we will be bringing that to you guys here also. So
she's a Scorpio, so she's a shaman naturally.
Absolutely. Okay, Sophie, we'll get back to you a little bit here. I know you weren't supposed to because you're working on your own course, but you still decided and you managed somehow to add some priority bookings here to your readings with the clients. I'll get back to that in a second. Julie, we're already 45 minutes in, and we have to look at this full moon eclipse and how this new moon eclipse and how it's going to affect more from the collective standpoint. Let's run through this one here, and I already have quite a few questions here from the PayPal tip jar I want to get through tonight as well, to thank all of those people supporting us here on the show. Go ahead, Julie.
Okay, so more on the collective aspect of this solar eclipse. So this one is a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, and it's going to conjunct almost exactly at 2 degrees the planet Venus. So we're having the sun, the moon, Venus, all at 2 degrees of Scorpio. So you can locate that in your own birth chart to know in what house it falls. But also we have the south node that's going to be at 13 degrees, so a few degrees away. So it's like a mixed bag of energy, I'd say, because a new moon eclipse, we're opening up a new cycle. We're starting a new chapter in our lives, but also in the collective energies. But with the south node, it's like, okay, you'll be able to open up a new chapter, but first you got to let go a lot of the old that's dysfunctional, that's not, that's bringing your energy down. So, a lot of this energy that we're having to let go of has to do with the financial system, collectively speaking, because it's the way we've been enslaved. And Scorpio also talks about this power struggle of enslavement in the lower frequencies. So collectively speaking, Scorpio rules banks, the IRS, stock market, taxes, pensions, mutual funds, tax havens, insurance companies, the mafia, hidden money, hidden power, and also the dark cult. So so all of those are potentially going to be exposed near this eclipse, because we're letting go of a lot of those. And we're starting up a new cycle that's not going to include as much toxicity ruled by Scorpio as before. So I think it's going to be, well, I'm looking forward to it. And it's going to conjunct the planet Venus. So Venus is sort of helping us feel this eclipse in a bit lighter way, because Venus brings a little bit more love and harmony into this very intense and tough energies of Scorpio. So as I said, South Node has to do with letting go of past karma. So past collective karma, past ways that we've been enslaved to the system, past lives, all of that is going to have a lot of healing potential around this eclipse. And also this eclipse is at 2 degrees of Scorpio, and 2 degree is a Taurus degree, which is the opposing sign. So Taurus is all about money. It's about the financial system. It's about resources and currencies. So this is going to be very financial for the world, I think. Potentially something big happening regarding currencies, maybe some currencies disappearing, maybe going down, maybe the banks going bankrupt, maybe there's going to be no more physical money, who knows. But Venus, that rules currencies, is going to be eclipsed on this eclipse. So the Sun and Venus are both going to be eclipsed. So that means we could be facing a crisis involving something disappearing from the money system. Also, I think I spoke about that on other shows. I'm just going to recap for the people that don't know what I'm talking about. But Mars, which is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, so ruler of this eclipse, conjuncts the asteroid called Silver at the very moment of this eclipse in the sign of Gemini. So I think it's going to be good for the value of silver. Mars rules power. So it's going to give a lot of power, I think, to silver in regards to trading, which is Gemini. Gemini rules trades and communications. So we could also be seeing a new innovation that's using silver into its new technology, because Mars rules innovations and new technology. So it could be let's say, a space technology, but also a communication technology, or both, who knows? But I think this would be a really great aspect for silver. And Mars is also super powerful at the moment of this eclipse because it's stationing to go retrograde. So it's not moving or not appearing to move in the sky. So it makes it that much powerful. And it's an Aries degree, which is all about power, innovations. And lastly, I wrote on the last line, ancient prophecies would talk about a male figure being eclipsed during an eclipse. So that could coincide with someone leaving the stage, a male figure maybe. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot in store there. Stefano says, JC, your show is great and Julie is hot. You ain't seen nothing yet until she starts quoting Usher songs, man. I tell you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the compliment, everyone. I love it. Okay, Sophie, one thing that strikes me there too, I want you to pull some cards, is we're going to have to let go of something that's attached to all of this. The IRS, the financial system, the banking system, the dark cults, the hidden powers and all that. Let's pull some cards and see, well, what does that look like? Is that to our advantage? Or we're letting go of something to perhaps be forced to something else? Like, a lot of people ask me that. Well, here's the new boss worse than the old boss, or something like that, right? What can we expect here? What are we letting go in terms of these scorpionic systems of controls, and how can that help us actually?
So far I have farewell. So it looks like I have farewell, and underneath farewell I have the abundance. So I think we're going to have some news, of course, of the financial system. And yes, something has to go. We have farewell here. So what could it be? Like, oh, the tower. Okay. Yes. Okay. Something big, guys, is happening. And it's about the resources that we have. We're going to be asked to be patient about something. We're going to be asked to be flexible on something. It's not something that is planned. So it's something that in the mainstream media is not planned. Let's say that. Yeah, something really surprising. What could it be? Let me just take one more to get a clue on what it could be.
And while you do that, collectively, we all just want to give you a hug, Sophie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, DEV. Go ahead, Sophie.
6 of Wands. So this is really a big loss for the bad guys. This is a big loss for the bad guys. I have the success cards, guys. So this is amazing for where we want to go. This is a success for us. This is a success for everybody that is rooting for big change that is going the right direction. But the tower is going to be surprising. And for while we know it, we're prepared. It's something that can be scary. So be prepared. Something is changing.
I'm wondering if that letting go is letting go of the control mechanisms. We're
Yeah.
seeing wild, wild things happening right now in the silver and gold markets, both at the LBMA and, of course, the COMEX. The drain of physical metal continues. Of course, the people in the know are draining. They're front running here, perhaps the cards, of course, that Sophie is pulling. So, guys, if you're looking at maybe getting your hands on this stuff, you can do so here at beyondmystic.net/silver. The 23 silver Britannias are back in stock here at $7.50 over spot. And of course, you can get some gold coins as well at $85 over spot. And if you're a Canadian subscriber, just click on the mfbullion.ca to get the Canadian specials here for our audience members. And of course, the Beyond Mystic silver bars are also still available. Now, in terms of what's happening with silver, I was supposed to have Andy Sheckman and Bill Holter today on the show. There was a little bit of a scheduling conflict, so that is now rescheduled for Monday, October 24th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So please join us for that. We are going to be talking everything about the precious metals right now and what seems to be happening behind the scenes and how perhaps it ties in with a lot of what Sophie is pulling right now. And also join us this Friday night on the 21st at 8 o'clock Eastern for the second time of this collaboration here between the astrology and the Luxies of Penny Kelly. The first show was absolutely amazing, off the hook. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. Penny, myself, and Julie had so much fun putting that together. And of course, we're doing it again here this Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. So please do stay tuned for that one. Sophie, or Julie, going back to this 25th collective energy, anything else I'm missing there? Big changes, letting go?
You just said that they're probably letting go of the control mechanism with silver and gold. So I think it would make a lot of sense because Scorpio is all about power. So if you could sum up the sign of Scorpio in one word, that would be power. So whenever we have the South Node in Scorpio, so it's giving them less power. And we're trying to recalibrate this power exchange. So, and with Venus there, the currency planet, so that would make a lot of sense that they release finally their grip on the control mechanism of prices with the silver and gold.
And that's going to be spelling a whole brand new world. Okay, we're 56 minutes in. I'm looking at the PayPal tip jar. Quite a few questions already, guys. If you're looking at getting Sophie or Julie to pull some cards or maybe do some astrology for you, you can do so now. Questions for Julie and Sophie are in the chat. Julie, I'll bring up first. I had one with some astrology, so if you want to bring up your software there. My sun sign is Virgo. My rising is Libra. And this is from Emerald Dragon Reiki. So if you want to bring that up, I'll get
Can
you
you
to...
just repeat? Sorry, I'm having a...
Sun sign is Virgo and rising Libra.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The last thing, sorry guys. With everything that has been said with this big tower moment, I just want to say one more thing. I think there could be also just somebody dying that is in power. So don't forget that this is still possible with the cards that we are seeing, and with the eclipses that is coming in Scorpio, someone in power could be also be passing. I just had to add that.
Passing or maybe
leaving the stage.
Leaving the stage also.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something, a little poster that was on Zero Hedge the other day. I was like, wow, they seem to be forecasting specifically in this language. I'm scrolling down here. The feed is so long with all these news stories as of late. It's really hard to follow all of this stuff. Anyways, I'm almost there. Yes, this is it. Is it really? Is it really Jover? Yes, it might be Jover very, very soon. So I think maybe, Sophie, you're pulling on this one also. So that could be really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions. Julie, I'll get back to the astrology in a sec. I'll get Sophie first to pull some cards for AO. Dear angels, I have a very important day tomorrow. What message does universe have for me? Thank you for your kindness.
Okay.
Important day tomorrow for AO. Needs to know what universe has in terms of guidance.
Okay, because I know you, I will get a little bit more in detail. So I have in your card the devil and invisible man in the past. So you have learned a lot from that energy. Tomorrow it's going to be something that you have to really feel focused, and you have to know that you're not where you have been many months ago. You are in brand new energy where you have learned so much, and you are now in a position of power. You have to own it. So I do have the Emperor for you, and you have to claim it. This is being grounded, this is being focused, this is being in your power, and it is your time. So I'm sending you tons of love.
Tons of love to AO. And I have a specific meditation for somebody in the chat. I did see it go through a couple of times, guys, so I will get to it. Let me just finish some of the questions here for PayPal first, and then we'll get to that last collective. Big hug for somebody in the chat who's having some difficult times. Okay, so Julie, going back to sun sign Virgo, rising Libra, the question is, many blessings to you ladies. I have a question about my relationship with my girlfriend who is a Scorpio sun, Sagittarius rising. Okay, so there's a lot. Sorry, I should have told you that part there too. Let's talk about relationships here for Emerald Dragon Reiki, Virgo rising and Libra. Sorry. Sun is Virgo and rising is Libra. Go ahead, Julie.
Okay, and their partner, you said Sun and Scorpio?
Yeah. Who is Scorpio Sun and Sagittarius rising.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had missed that first part of it.
It's fine. It's
Do you
fine.
want me to buy more time, or can you?
No, it's okay. I'll
Okay.
just go. Well, first of all, generally speaking, because I don't have all the information for your chart, of course. But since you're Libra rising, the eclipse that's going to be in Scorpio, which is also your partner's sun sign, is happening in your second house. So, so it also means that in your birth chart, your partner's sun is falling in your second house. So second house is all about your values. So you probably have some similar family values with your partner. It talks about that it's very important for you to invest your energy in this relationship, which is the second house. So whenever I look at two charts, and I did a video on that on my channel, but it was in French, so I'm thinking about translating it into English. So I like to see where your partner's sun is falling in your own birth chart and what house it falls. So it talks a lot about your relationship dynamic. So second house, which is also the house where you're going to feel this eclipse on October 25th. For sure, there's going to be a change in your relationship dynamic and how you give your energy to that person and how you receive. Because second and eighth house, as I said earlier, is also about this energy exchange axis. So there's a new start there. So there's a potential for a lot of healing. Especially how you give, because second house is all about how you give, and also it could relate to how you deal with money in your relationship, but also intimacy, which is Scorpio. So there's a change there on how you guys are going to exchange your energy. So I'm thinking about a lot of shadow work in order for you to receive, but also give in a more trusting environment, which is all about Scorpio. And I'm going to just pull a card to give me another cue for your message. Just a second. Okay. So, okay, I have my card, fifth house, creativity. So I think there's a lot of positive healing themes that could happen to you. Fifth house is all about dating, romantic. So maybe having more of relaxed time with your partner. There's a chance for you to have a rebirth of your relationship. Fifth house is also having more fun, generally speaking. So doing fun activities together, even if you're in that age group and it's something you would like, there's a chance to conceive either a baby, but also a mutual project. So I think there's a lot of positive new starts that's possible for you. JC, you're muted.
Sorry. Well, sorry, I was hearing an echo there as I muted myself. Okay, Harry Chadwick says, I don't know anything about you guys, but you made my evening. Love to everyone.
Wow.
Okay, love you too, Harry. That's really cool, man. Yeah, and please share it if it makes sense to you and you think people might benefit from these conversations. Please do, and that goes for all of you. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate all of your work. You can do so, of course, on Maison Jupiter and here on Beyond Mystic. Eric Klein says, great show as always. Thank you so much. There isn't a question there, but thank you, Eric. I appreciate the donation. The next one is Carrie Kennedy. I was going to say, I thought it was Carrie Cassidy. No, it's Carrie Kennedy. She says, I'm turning 70 on November 8th. Okay. Scorpio is my sun and moon. I think my birthday will be memorable this year. Yeah. You're on an eclipse, of course. So let's see what we can share for Carrie Cassidy. Carrie Kennedy. I'll ask Sophie first if she wants to pull some cards while you realign the astrological wheel for her there, Julie. So November 8th, birthday, 70 years old. Carrie, what do the cards have to say for Carrie in her birthday? Sophie.
Okay, so I do have that you're going to be really treated like your queen for your birthday. I don't know what is planned exactly. I have luxury valued and appreciated, and I have the Four of Wands, which is the house, the foundation, the family, people around you supporting you. So this year, I do see that you're going to feel more. This year, it's like you don't really stress about little things. So you are more grounded, you are secure in what you're doing. There's this feeling of, I'm doing good. I know that in my life, I'm appreciated by my people around me. I don't see loneliness as many people are feeling since COVID. I see that you're just in a good space this year. So you may take on some new things, so new learning or some new travel if you want to do that also, because there is some kind of a good foundation to support anything you want to build on this.
Okay, very good. And Julie, is there anything else from the astrological standpoint that could be affecting her?
Let me
Carrie.
share my screen. Okay.
Right.
So this is the chart for the other eclipse on November 8th, which is your birthday. So the sun will be in the sign of Scorpio, and the moon, well, it's a full moon eclipse. So you see that the moon is directly opposed the sun. So that's going to be in your relationship sector that you're having this eclipse. So for all people who are either sun in Scorpio or rising sign in Scorpio, this eclipse season is going to affect you in your relationship axis. So yourself, you're transforming a lot with all this energy, as you can see here in your first house, which is you. So this is also changing the way you relate to other people and also your relationships. And as you can see, this eclipse is going to be very special because we have the planet Uranus that's almost exactly conjunct the moon. So the eclipse on November 8th. So Uranus brings a lot of surprises. So for sure your birthday is going to be special. And I think you can expect a surprise coming from either your partner or someone new. And it could also be someone new coming into your lives, because Uranus brings a lot of surprises, unexpected events, and also people coming into your life. And Uranus people can be astrologers. This is ruled by Uranus. It could also be someone that works with energy, or someone that's totally out of the box, someone that's very unique, which is Uranus. So yes.
She did say, was it going to be memorable? So yes, I believe.
Oh yes, it will be.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Bonne fête à toi. Yes, Carrie. Okay, XRP Lee, JC Sophie is also hot. I thought you meant JC is hot, but okay. So yes, Sophie is hot. But it caught my eye because of the XRP in the nickname. I wanted to bring that up because, man, we have two very diametrically opposed camps. There's a camp that believes that XRP is going to die with the banking system, here perhaps even as close as the eclipse. And there's a whole other camp that absolutely believes that XRP is going to go absolutely ballistic to the upside and might have a brand new world in this new future of ours. Can we pull some cards on that? I know it's not a crypto show, but man, do we get that question a lot? And when I saw XRP, okay, let's do an XRP question. Let's start with you, Sophie. Let's pull some cards on the future of XRP. Some people are just saying recently it could be tied to BlackRock, and as BlackRock is going bankrupt right now, it could pull Ripple and everything connected to it down to the ground. Also, it's a tough one, but we gotta ask the cards. Let's see.
I have a birth and a rebirth. So far, I think that some system, yes, are going to die. If underneath the block, I have the death card. So for sure, there is something that is going to die. So maybe the actual way of doing it, but we have the rebuilding, we have the birth right after the death. So I can understand why we have such opposite view on this, because we do have the birth after the destruction of it. So for me, I would have to say that something is going to survive, but maybe not exactly the same way as we have it right now.
Okay, Julie, I'll ask you this here too, and how that ties into the eclipse and perhaps the unknown sources of funding and the bad guys and how they fund stuff. For a lot of people, they thought, and this is just allegedly, this is YouTube, that perhaps XRP was connected originally when it was created to maybe some very nefarious things involving little people. I'll just say that way. Is it possible that that's the part that's dying, that they're shedding, and then maybe there's a new hand taking control of XRP into this new world? How do you see that transition there, especially with Scorpio aligning with all of this?
So that would make sense. Yeah, I think you're right, JC. And that would make sense about what Sophie had, because she's talking about the death and rebirth. So it might be plunging for a bit and then go higher up once it's released from all the bad, let's say, influences. And I pulled a card, my astrology cards, and I had the new moon in Capricorn. Hard work is paying off. So new moon in Capricorn, first of all, new moon, it talks about a new start. So also relating to what Sophie was saying. But Capricorn is like the marathon runner. It's not like the sprinter. So I think the value will go up, and because I know some people were talking about a potential spike and then coming back down. But with this card, I'm seeing the opposite, because Capricorn tends to be rewarded in the long term. So it takes a while to build itself. It has to be very patient. It's the most patient sign of the zodiac, but it's like there's going to be a rebirth and it's going to pay off at the end.
Well, a lot of people have been patient, of course, since this SEC lawsuit and this like standstill. I think it's standing at 40-some cents here today. Some analysts were predicting that perhaps they would try to do a pump and dump to bring it to 60, 67 cents to then crash it again. Again, these are all things we're hearing. A lot of people are like confused, and somebody was saying on the chat, yes, thank you for calling about this, because it's very complicated. And like when Lisa is right, Louisiana, Missouri just pulled out a BlackRock. There's somebody else last week, and I think there's one more today in the news. So we're seeing a lot of weird things happening. And this is where, for a lot of us, and where some of the anxiety is coming from, is we don't know how all of this is really interconnected in the back. And there's going to be a lot of unintended consequences to perhaps these tower card moments that even the bad guys, of course, the good guys also.
Yeah, and also we're seeing that with Credit Suisse. It's all intricated all together. It's convoluted. So I think once we shed a light on something, we're all going to learn all the hidden ties that they all have together. And I think it goes a lot further than we think right now.
And don't forget, we still have this fog, so we cannot see clearly what is happening.
Right.
I can see clearly now. Nope, not gonna do it. You almost got me. Okay, Esmeralda, JC, please, beautiful souls, have some words for Regina, who just lost her son. Okay. So first of all, our hearts go out to you, Regina. I'm asking the collective audience watching the show also to send you some love energy, some healing energy. But let's pull some cards here, Sophie, and see what we can glean here. If there's any words that perhaps Regina needs to hear from universe, let's start there. And Julie, I'll ask you also if you want to pull an oracle card. And again, try to bring everybody watching the show together here to send Regina some energy here. It's by result. Sing it, JC. Sing it. Nope, not singing.
Oh, you kind
I'm
of
just,
there.
I'm just
I
teasing
was
you
ready
guys.
to be a background dancer in the back.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I have the cards. It seems that we have this soul passing on the other side. So I don't know when that happened. I'm really sorry for the loss. I cannot imagine how it feels. So this is the passing of the soul. It's very peaceful. So all I can say is that it is done with really tons of love, and we have the temperance card that just goes with this. So tons of support, tons of love and guidance for this soul that is passing. Now, we do have for the mother, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is the nurturing, the caring queen. So, of course, in those moments, it is very, very difficult to think about herself sometimes, but this queen is asking you to really stay focused on some routine. So we went through something, I don't want to say similar, but we went through a grieving process. We know how it feels. I cannot even imagine for a son, but we have to take it day by day. But with this card, I'm asking you to really stick to some kind of routine, to stay grounded, to don't lose the contact with what you are experimenting with, people around you, because this is down to earth, very taking care of yourself.
Okay, very good. And Julie, what would you like to add to that as well?
So first of all, sending you a lot of hugs, Regina. We're all thinking of you. And I have pulled a card from my unicorn deck for you. So I have the card that says Unicorn Portal, focus your light, listen for a message. So there's like a gateway on this card. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of messages from your son from the other side. And I just want to read a little excerpt of the booklet. It says, a portal is a high frequency space or gateway to another dimension. When you draw this card, unicorns are asking you to create one in your home, office, or somewhere special so that they can step from their domain into yours. So I think your son wants to communicate a lot of messages with you. So he wants you to create like a sacred space for you guys to connect, because it also says listen for a message. So there's a lot of stuff I said, I think that was left unsaid. So I think he's using this opportunity to communicate and grow even more closer to you, because love is like the bond that's going to connect you forever with him.
Wow. I just got some goosebumps because I did an interview with, oh my God, I forget her name now. She was a guest speaker on Litecoin Lisa. She had lost her son, and she wrote this book called, I think, Don't Trip Potato Chip. I think that's the title of the book. I'll look for it here before we leave on the show. And when I read it, of course, to do the interview, it brought me to a lot of emotions, of course, as a father, and so I resonate with all of this. So I first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat sending their love to Regina. I think you guys are absolutely amazing. That's what's beautiful about this community. I'll bring up that book because I think it might be a very good resource, not just for Regina, but for everybody else here who are also dealing with this in their lives, as Julie and Sophie are just mentioning, and everything else that's happening in the world with some of those difficult, nasty products out there being pushed around. So we're all going to be dealing with this maybe more and more here moving forward. So I'll bring up that book before I go here. Sophie, I mentioned earlier that you're hard at work on your next course, but still you're managing to add some time here to the priority bookings. And as Julie was just talking about this gateway card here to glean some more information, how do you help people here in your tarot and past life sessions here to glean more information and to navigate these particular lives here? What do you have now in terms of booking availability? And what do those sessions look like for the people who might not have had a session with you yet?
Sure. So what it does look like is every time it's different. You get a session that you really need at that time. So for everyone, it's going to be different. Some people have a list of questions that would be okay, that we do all of your question. Some people want to start also with past life before they ask question. This is also very good. So we tend to look at, where are you at this moment? Where is your energy going? Do we need to know something about your soul to help you to go to the next chapter of your life, or release some energy that you don't need anymore in your life? So that's why I start with past life normally, if you want to start with that. In terms of when we have timing right now, I know that it's really booked. It goes at the end, I think, of November. That's why I really wanted to have some priority booking for this week. I just added a few because I'm trying to record everything possible to finish the course on past life to help you guys with this. But I wanted to be there, wanted to be available for emergency or when you really need it, with every question that you may have with the eclipses.
Okay, very good. So, guys, you can find that at maisonjupiter.com. And Julie, help me out here. Just going back to these, to all of us collectively who are dealing with some of these passings right now, too. I know you and I have talked about this quite a bit on the Astrological Woo, Astro Woo show as well, because a lot of the changes that we're all feeling personally are because of this change in the social order and people disappearing, and perhaps new responsibility coming towards us because of people disappearing. What would you share also for the people here who are maybe already gone through that situation and who are going to have to care for other peoples who might be also very soon having to deal with that as well?
Well, JC, great question. I think like the way I like to think about it is that we're all going to change roles in some kind of way. So people passing on the other side, they're not going anywhere. They're going somewhere because they have to accomplish another mission for themselves, or also to help humanity in some kind of way. So this is the way I think about our dad's passing. So I think he's doing some other mission on the other side. And I think whether your mission is to be here on Earth to help this density shift that we're experiencing, or you're doing something on the other side, helping people, or on another planet, I think we're all playing a part in this shift, especially people watching the show. So it's just a matter of changing roles and helping in the way that suits best our gifts and abilities, whether it's here doing something on the physical realm or on the spiritual realm.
Right. Libby's helping me out. Yes, love that lady. Her name was Amy Fulmer, and I did interview her. It might have been my first Beyond Mystic channel. I can't find the video now, but this is the book, Don't Trip, Potato Chip. Swear to God, read this book, share this book with people. Not necessarily just for mourning, but it makes for better humans. And if you can find that old video of mine, you'll get to see me crying quite a bit in the video. It was the most difficult interview I've ever done, but also the most... probably one of the most fulfilling. So don't trip, potato chips. So I hope that helps you guys, or whoever was supposed to hear that in the chat here tonight. I wanted really to bring that up here before we left this evening. Last words of wisdom. I'll start with you, Sophie. Crazy roller coaster ride. That's how we started the show, from here to next week. Anything else you want to share with the audience here before we go?
Okay, King of Cups. This is the last card, guys. So King of Cups is asking you to be really mastering your emotion. This is also one of the lessons of the eclipses. Yes, there is things coming out of your life. There is things that is coming in your life, but it's also all about, how can I stay more stable? How can I learn to deal with grief or angry or anything that you may feel? So try to understand and welcome your emotion to the best of what you can do.
Oh, wow. Very good. Okay. Hank Witt says, excellent show tonight, JC, Julie, Sophie, and chat. Thank you so much, Hank. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
And Julie, how about you? Last words of wisdom before we go.
Okay, so I pulled a card, an oracle card from Children of the Cosmos oracle card. So this one is Lemuria is rising, returning to our origins, heaven on earth. So I think when we get caught up in all the drama, the intensity, the emotional charge of all the changes that are coming, it's easy to lose track of what's happening in the whole. And what's happening is that we're recreating this heaven on earth. So I think we have to keep focusing on it.
I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you supporting our show. Thank you to everyone in the PayPal tip jar. I couldn't get to everyone, of course, but we truly, truly appreciate it. And of course, as I'm looking for that damn video of Don't Trip Potato Chip, I can't find it because of censorship. So yes, I really appreciate all of you guys helping us stay out here as long as we can. You guys are amazing. And Sophie and Julie, thank you so much for all of your energies here tonight. It's a big blessing to have you guys on our show. And of course, guys, you can find Sophie here at MaisonJupiter.com, and you can find the birth charts there as well as the candles. And if you use, again, BeyondMystic is the coupon code, will give you 10% off across the board. And you can find them on Maison Jupiter here, also on YouTube. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.